You know that feeling? The deal is done. Contract signed, you shaking hands, you're already thinking about what's next. And then the email lands. That awful sinking feeling in your stomach as you read the words, "After further review, we need to adjust our offer."
And that, my friends, is the retrade trap. It's this calculated, last-minute move designed to use your exhaustion against you and chip away at the price. But here's the thing. It only works if you let it. In this explainer, we are going to completely dismantle the buyer's playbook. You're going to learn how to see this trap coming from a mile away and turn their pressure into your power.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll define exactly what this trap is. Then, we'll pull back the curtain on the buyer's ruthless playbook. And after that, it's all about strategy, how to spot the difference between a real problem and a fake one, how to build your defense, how to respond with strength, and finally, how to get that master seller's mindset that makes you basically unshakable.
Okay, so what is a retrade, really? I mean, on paper, it's just a price adjustment because of some new information. But let's be totally honest here. In the real world, it is always a leverage play. Always. So yeah, here's the textbook definition, but what this definition doesn't capture is the intent. See, this isn't just a simple request, it's a strategic strike. They launch it at the exact moment you've let your guard down, when you're already emotionally invested and thinking about the next chapter. That timing, it's not a coincidence. It's the entire strategy.
This right here. This slide just cuts right to the heart of it. The big question is this a revelation or a robbery? Look, a genuine discovery, like something major you forgot to disclose, that's a revelation, and that's worth talking about. But some vague last-minute problem that's clearly designed to just shake you down for a discount, that, my friend, is a robbery. And the difference is always in the evidence.
You know, professional buyers don't just get lucky with discounts. They engineer them. They have a playbook, and it's designed to methodically, step-by-step, dismantle your confidence and create leverage for them. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how they do it.
So it all starts with the charm offensive, right? They love you, they love the deal, they just want to get you to sign. Then, bam, radio silence. And that's totally intentional. It's meant to make you anxious. Then, just when you start to relax a little, they strike with some manufactured discovery. And notice how they deflect. It's never their fault. It's always the lender or the investors. It all builds to this, the deadline trap, forcing you to choose, take a discount or risk a delay right at the finish line.
This right here is the core of their bet. See, they aren't betting against your property, they're betting against your stamina. They know the whole sales process is a marathon, and they wait until you're absolutely exhausted and just emotionally committed to crossing that finish line before they make their move.
They're specifically targeting these moments. The moment you start planning what you'll do with the money, the moment you've told your family, your partners that the deal is done, they know that the pain of having to unwind all of that is just immense. They're not just negotiating on price. They are leveraging your personal and emotional commitment against you. It is a test of nerve completely by design.
But look, not every single price adjustment is a trap. Sometimes legitimate issues really do come up. So the first and most crucial skill you need is to be able to tell the difference instantly between a real problem and a manufactured excuse.
And you know what? The difference is usually pretty clear. Legitimate issues are specific. They're backed by evidence. An engineer's report on a structural problem, a tenant ledger that shows vacancies you didn't disclose. Manufactured claims, on the other hand, are always vague and impossible to verify. They'll blame market shifts or these faceless investors. One comes with data, the other just comes with an excuse.
Honestly, it all boils down to one simple rule. If a buyer wants a discount, they have to show their work. A request that's backed up by data, reports, contractor bids, that's a negotiation. But a request that's just backed by vague pressure and a vibe, that's a bluff, and your job is to call it.
So how do you win this fight? Well, you win by making it impossible for the fight to even start. Your best defense is built long before you ever get an offer. It's all about building a fortress of preparation and total transparency. Okay, think of this as your proactive defense plan. You're going to know your property inside and out because you've already done your own inspections. You've documented everything. And most importantly, you disclose everything, especially the ugly stuff. This completely takes away the element of surprise that these retraders rely on. You combine that with a hard, non-refundable deposit, and you've basically built your own contractual armor.
This is the ultimate power shift. When you are the one who delivers the bad news, you control the story. You neutralize the threat. A buyer can't use a surprise discovery against you if you're the one who revealed it in the first place.
Your transparency becomes your shield.
But okay, what if, despite all your best efforts, the buyer still tries it? Your response in that moment is absolutely critical. And the key is not emotion, it's posture. You need a calm, strategic plan ready to go.
This is your 3-step tactical response. When they drop that bad news on you, your first move is to do nothing. Don't argue, don't get defensive, just pause. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. Then, your only response is a calm request for proof. I understand. Please send over the full engineering report and the 3 contractor bids you've gathered. And just like that, the burden of proof is right back on their shoulders.
This is exactly how you call their bluff. You refuse to get dragged into a debate about feelings or vague market conditions. Nope, you anchor the entire conversation to one thing and one thing only: evidence. By simply and calmly asking for the documents, for the receipts, you force them to show their hand. And if their claim is just a house of cards, this is the moment it all comes tumbling down.
Okay, now let's talk about leveling up. Because master sellers don't just defend against retrades, they actually use the attempt as an opportunity to reclaim control of the entire negotiation and show their strength.
Here are 3 amazing ways to turn the tables. First, you subtly remind them they are not the only buyer in the world. Second, if you do need to give a little, you trade time, never money. Something like, the price is firm, but we can offer you a 15-day extension to sort out your financing. And third, you flip the frame. The problem isn't your property. The problem is their problem.
Look, every single retrade is a test, but it's not a test of your property, it's a test of your psychology. The moment you panic, you lose. Your calm demeanor is your single most valuable asset in this negotiation.
All that preparation you did, the inspections, the reports, the documentation, that is your shield. So when a buyer comes at you with vague claims, you meet them with hard facts. Data always beats drama.
And finally, silence. Your ability to just pause, to not react when they fully expect you to panic, that is your ultimate weapon. It communicates this unshakable confidence and creates a vacuum that they will feel compelled to fill, often talking themselves right into a corner.
So at the end of the day, you are in control. The retrade trap only works if you decide to take the bait. With thorough preparation, unwavering patience, and a strong posture, you don't just survive the trap, you make it impossible for a buyer to even try it in the first place. You close the right deals, and you close them on your terms.
Because when you know your numbers and you know your worth, you own the narrative. You get to close the deal you signed, not the one they tried to talk you into.